I hate that this is going to be both a cutesy and a sad video. So on the cutesy side, I cannot wait to share with you all of the pet designer items that I have picked up this year, items that are still tempting me, items that are a solid no, and items that I'm still looking for. So maybe y'all can help me out on that last bit. Now I will leave a timestamp if you want to jump straight to the cutesy part, but let's get the sad part out of the way first. We know deep down that shopping can't bring some things back, like someone's. That hole cannot be filled no matter how many new, expensive, shiny things you buy to shove in there. Like grief shopping is the worst way to self-medicate. So why do we do it? I think it's because if it can distract us, if it can ease the pain, even by a little bit for just a little while, we think it's better than the alternative. So earlier this year, we lost an important member of our family, our baby girl. Really, she was quite senior by then, but she'll always be my baby. Now, part of me is just so thankful that I got to be there for her when she passed peacefully at home. I know not every pet owner has that privilege, and this was my first time. I mean, she's by no means the first pet we've ever lost. We've had to put pets down. We've had pets who unfortunately have had their lives cut short by wild animals since we do live out in the country, but her passing hit differently because I saw in her eyes at the end just the love she had for us, her family, her pack, and the comfort it gave her to pass in my arms the way I've held her for over 13 years. If you've ever owned a German Shepherd, you know what I'm talking about. Like, a lot of dogs go off to be alone at the end, but her last act was to come lay by me. And whether she did it for her own comfort or if it was her last attempt to comfort me, man, you just don't come back from moments like that. By the way, it's been months and we still can't bring ourselves to put away her food bowl. Now, the feeling of loss after her passing was real, even though we had other fur babies to love on. I just remember the sudden panic the day after she passed. Like, all I knew was that I desperately had to commemorate her, which was a new feeling for me. When our last dog passed, it's been about 4 years, we had to put him down, and the vet we used promised that they would send us a cast of his paw print, which was incredibly sweet. But I went insane waiting for the cast to arrive in the mail. And only then did I feel any sort of rest or closure, knowing that that was the last thing he could leave us with. But maybe because I never got that type of memorabilia with her, part of my coping mechanism was just figuring out how to commemorate her. I knew I wanted something I could wear daily, and that's how I ended up with this moissanite horseshoe bracelet that I picked up from Etsy. And I thought that would be the end of it. I didn't anticipate that this would spiral into the need to commemorate all of our fur babies, both past and present. So at this point, it would have probably been cheaper if I had just bought like a Pandora charm bracelet and got a charm for each of them. But I've never much been into those. So like any sane person, I decided to buy random designer items instead. All right, on to the cutesy part of the video. Obviously, I've been hunting down pieces that remind me of my fur babies. For instance, I recently picked up 2 Twillies from Hermes. So this first Twilly is called En Liberté, and I got this because of this little specific pup, which reminds me of our mini Aussie. But I had to find the colorway where this pup was in black and white, and this was a really hard Twilly to track down because I think it's from last season. I think you can still find the shawl version, but I have no use for a shawl. A Twilly I can at least tie on my bags like this. So I was able to track this down at the Heathrow airport, even though, I mean, the version I really wanted had more green, so the grass actually looked like grass. This has a lot more blues, but just the fact that I found this at all with the pup in the right color, that's good enough for me. So the other Twilly I picked up is happily living on my Evelyn PM, and this is called the Dogs of Paris, but in French, or something like Parisian dogs, you get the idea. When I first went to the store looking for the En Liberté Twilly, this was the only dog type Twilly they had, but I'm just not after any old dog design. Like, it had to feature the right dog, and so I wasn't thrilled at first because all I saw was the giant wiener dog on the back. But then I spotted the German Shepherd and my heart just flooded. And more than that, after that, I spotted the cat next to the German Shepherd, and I about cried in the store. So my German Shepherd had the most adorable love-hate alliance with my gray cat, and I just like that. Like in real life, they're close by each other, but not too close. By the way, I'm done with Twillies, man. I'm out of bags to put them on. So if Hermes were to come out with like a cat Twilly, I'm just gonna have to expand my bag collection. On the topic of Hermes, here are some items that I'm still on the fence about. For instance, Hermes has this one scarf that has like a solo cat in the corner. And I wish this came in a Twilly design, but I don't think it does. Someone let me know if you know. But this colorway with the gray cat would be the only one I would consider. But again, it's a scarf and I know I'm not going to use it, even though I do think the design of it is amazing. Now, I was also tempted by the Sursoir silk bag. I've seen it on the website, but at $2,700, that is so steep for a silk bag. Plus, I don't think my pup is even visible. Like, how rude. But at least I know my $2,700 is safe. Like, that's what you get, Hermes, for excluding my dog. But if your dog is on there, I do think it's cute. You should get it, especially since it seems like it's a properly reinforced silk bag with leather trims and straps and such. Unlike, I think it's one of their other new silk bag releases, which really does look like a lumpy sack. Like, all you need is a giant stick and you look like you're off to your medieval apprenticeship. By the way, you'll notice that none of this stuff is actually for my pets. They're for me, okay? So no, we're not buying my dog a $200 Frisbee from Hermes. Like, he is perfectly happy playing with a leaf, and I'm just not going to deprive him of that. Now, the one thing I won't consider from Hermes is the Petite H dog leather charm. Not only is the price silly, that is such a generic looking dog. But again, if that's what your dog looks like and you don't mind the price tag, go for it. Kind of like how Loewe has those Corgi and Chow Chow dog charms. Those are also insanely priced, but I get it. Like, if they had a German Shepherd, I too would have caved. Now, I'm just glad they don't. Now, as another side note, I did come across this Louis Vuitton luggage tag on eBay with a hand-painted German Shepherd on it for, I think, about $150, and I absolutely love it. I just don't know how long the hand-painted image will last. Also, I know Louis Vuitton does hot stamping for certain items, and I think they have a dog stamp. It may be more like a Shiba Inu. Let me know if you know, because that's something I would look into as well. Now, my last segue about bag type charms. Again, Alizé, love your cadenas. I have two of them, one in my Pegasus and one that I just recently showed on my channel, which is the Oran charm. But I would go nuts if they came out with dog or cat shaped cadenas. Please let me know in the comments if you would do the same. All right, next I want to talk about a piece of ready-to-wear that I mentioned in my best worst purchases video, and unfortunately this was not in the best pile. It is the YSL Panther sweater that I picked up from the Real. Yes, this is the saddest Panther I've ever seen, but the price made me happy, okay? I think I paid about $80 or so when this sweater retailed for almost $1,000. And even then, this normally retails pre-loved for about $400 to $600. But $80 or not, this is my first piece of ready-to-wear made of mohair, and y'all, never again. I am telling you, like, my cats love to sleep on my clothes, but I guarantee they would avoid this like the plague. I've never felt anything so itchy in my life. I know I can try to wash the itch out of it. I may give that a try and report back. But still, in the winter, I can still see the outfit in my head, right? With white sneakers, jeans, the sweater, maybe a trench, like, it's such a vibe, as long as I'm wearing an undershirt. But not to fret, you may have seen this sweater if you watched my previous video about my top fall bags, and this sweater is definitely a win. So this cat sweater is from Estier. Even though it's called a printed sweater, this is actually really nicely embroidered on. The cat's just abstract enough without being overly kitschy, which is really hard to do when you're trying to do animal printed tops. I think like Miu Miu has some really cute cat designs too, if you're willing to track those down pre-loved. But yeah, I already know this is going to be one of my fall winter sweatshirt essentials for this year. Now, a major challenge is just finding the right cat and or dog. Like, granted, for cats it's a little less complicated. My cats are literally just cats, like domestic short-haired cats. But dogs are a little more complicated, and that's where Staud comes in. You know, I don't know if I've ever shown this on my channel, but I actually do have a bag from Staud, and I 100% bought this for its name. So this is called the Ollie bag, and Ollie is just, it's a very special name for me. And it's a bonus that this is also a beautiful bag with the mixed metal hardware right here. Just the overall 90s shoulder silhouette. Plus, I'm not sure what type of sorcery went into this bag, but it surprisingly fits so much even though it looks tiny. So that's what the inside looks like. I love this bag. So yeah, Staud is an underrated brand that I would recommend you check out. Plus, I gotta hand it to them. Like, what a genius move. When I saw on their website that they had a pet collection, I just naturally thought, all right, we're talking collars and dog bones, etc. But no. I mean, yes, they do have all of your usual pet accessories, but it's really more for pet moms. As in, they have an entire customizable collection of bags, clothing, accessories, you name it. And the prices really aren't that bad. We're talking about a cashmere sweater for $300, Oxford shirts for about $250, and leather bags for about $400 on the average. They also have a denim jacket that's a little pricier, but come on, look at it. Now, I'm personally just smitten with the Oxford shirt, but I also wouldn't mind the cosmetics pouch. I haven't ordered anything yet, but I would be curious to know if any of you have, and how did your items turn out? Like, was it worth it? Are they still holding up? Or should I just go like the Etsy route? I'm assuming there's a ton of people out there who do custom work like this for a fraction of the price. The last item I picked up is none other than my Cartier Panthère de Graphique mini bag. Now, as much as I do love this bag, a card holder in the same design would have honestly sufficed. It would have also been 1/10 of the price of this bag. Now, speaking of card holders, Oleada had a perfect one that they have since discontinued, which is a shame because seriously, that would have been perfect for my gray cat. The version that they still do have available on their website is the wrong shade of cat. But if that's your shade of cat, I say do it because it's such a fantastic price point. But yeah, I really do love this design from Cartier. Like I said, sometimes it's hard to pull off animal-themed designer items without being overly kitschy. Like the Coach Runway cat bag, to me, that's not luxurious, you know what I mean? Or even like the ones that they've just recently released for Halloween at the outlet. Like it's just too much cat. Versus something like this, it's still a lot, it's still very much, but it's a more luxurious type of much. Or like the Lanvin cat handle bags, like those are much as well, but in like the best possible, most luxurious way. And finally, I do want to talk about popular animal-themed releases that are a giant no from me. And they're all from Louis Vuitton. Statistically, with all the animal designs they have come up with recently, how is it possible that I strongly dislike every single one of them? Like the recent Animagram collection, that had some of the saddest looking animals I've ever seen. They look like they're trying to tell you something and it's not good. They also had another previous collab that had the Fox Terrier. It's a little better than the sad Dalmatian from the Animagram collection, but again, the eyes on the Terrier are just as creepy, if not more, because he doesn't even have eyes. Now, the Catagram collection, that one had potential, but unfortunately, it was the wrong shade of cat for me. Or it's more like there was too many shades of cat to be meaningful. But if there are other collections you can point me in the direction of, please and thank you in advance. I would be much obliged. I know for spring, summer 2025, Louis Vuitton will be featuring another dog-themed collection. But as far as I can tell, it's a lot more pet rather than human product centered. And if anything, it's like a regular LV bag with a generic paw print dog tag. Or again, it features the wrong type of dog. But fingers crossed, I see something from that collection when it actually launches. Now, I did see these cat and dog earpod cases. And while my cat is gray, I'm guessing that the white leather will gray up pretty nicely over time. So let me know if you have come across other pet themed designer items that I should check out. Again, items for people, okay, not for pets. And yes, let me know if any of you have done the whole Staud pet customizable thing. I am super, super tempted, but I just need to gather a little bit more consumer data first before I make that decision. And as always, thank you for watching to the end. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. My fur babies and I would appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you back in a future video. Bye for meow.